This is Behind the Insights, a vodcast series by MetrixLab. We talk to experts from all over the world to go beyond the data and see what's really driving today's hottest topics in insights. In this episode, join Managing Director of MetrixLab Switzerland Hassan Mouheb and founder of In-Air Travel Experience and Hauw as they talk about what's next for the air travel industry after COVID-19.
Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, Hassan.
Thanks for joining us today for this session where we're going to discuss about the future of travel using the insight and the data we get from our tracker around the world. So let me start to introduce myself. I'm Hassan Mouheb. I'm the Managing Director of MetrixLab here in Switzerland. And we've been conducting over the last month a tracker asking consumers about what they think, how they feel about traveling. And today it's an opportunity to bring those insights and share them with you, get your expertise, your experience, and your feedback on what we've heard from the consumers. But tell us a little bit more about you, Anne.
My name is Anne de Hauw, and I'm the founder of In-Air Travel Experience, a boutique consultancy specialized in customer experience and innovation for air travel, with a strong focus on environmental sustainability. In other words, we support airlines in designing and delivering the sustainable transformational change, the guest experience end-to-end, but also any specific physical or digital touchpoint within that journey. In parallel, I'm partner at the Hauw Partnership, a consortium of independent consultants with a very specific expertise in the industry. And finally, I'm a member of the advisory board of the International Aviation Waste Management Association.
The first thing I'd like to discuss with you is we ask our respondents on how confident they are to travel again. And very interestingly, we've seen across the world respondents saying that they were gaining again confidence in traveling amongst airplanes. This is probably due to the vaccine becoming available. That's our kind of first understanding, but what will be your understanding, Anne, on that?
Yeah, so I think even with this vaccine distribution and the enhanced cleaning protocols in place across all airlines now, I believe people are going to be much more mindful about not just where they travel to, but also how they get there, and will seek the lowest exposure and the most efficient options. However, I do believe it's the governments that need to do better efforts to come up with a unified approach to make travel markets boost again.
So we see travelers gaining confidence again in traveling and using airplanes company to travel. To do that, they will be maintaining and keeping the healthy measures and the safety measures, which I think is great. But we also heard from respondents that they want also to change the way they're going to choose in the future the travel companies. And what we see and what we heard from them is they want the travel company to demonstrate more purpose, as almost a third of the respondents expect that from travel company. From your expertise and from your experience, Anne, do you see it as something becoming more important in the future?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm happy you bring this up because I'm personally a big ambassador of purposefulness. And I truly believe it's going to be more important than ever for businesses to commit to a purpose and to ensure that they use it to guide their thinking, their planning, and their decision making. And I think that the pandemic has actually accelerated consumers' desire to seek out organizations that support not only social, but also environmental progress. So organizations, if you will, that walk the walk and not just talk the talk. So I think people want to engage with companies that are contributing to a positive impact on society and planet, companies that ensure the health of their employees and their customers first. And the key short-term requirement is to show genuine human concern for all stakeholders with whom they interact. In the longer term, I think people will expect companies to act responsibly as guardians of society and nature. They expect them to foster a long-term prosperity for developing worlds and marginalized groups, live their purpose truthfully, and enable sustainable consumption to ultimately deliver genuine and meaningful travel experiences.
Wow, that's very well said. Thanks, Anne. So let me now ask you probably the last question. If you think about the future, would you say that we will never ever travel the same way that we used to do in the past? Or do you foresee a return to a normal and, thinking about just walking around in the airport, jumping into the airplane, everything we thought was kind of normal? Do you see that coming back to as it used to be in the past, or it will never be like in the past?
Well, I think from a people perspective and for travelers who love to be on the move, traveling is like oxygen. So it's eye-opening, inspiring, and liberating. And aviation is no doubt the greatest enabler for travel, but it's also a key driver for economic development. So yes, I believe travel is going to come back, but who knows what 2021 will look like. Actually, today it's very hard to tell because the landscape continues to fluctuate and often in the wrong direction. And it creates an unstable public health situation that impacts the passengers' confidence to travel. So today, VFR, which is visiting family and friends, is the strongest reason for travel. But I also believe that business and leisure passengers are eager to go back to travel again when lockdowns, quarantines, and travel restrictions will be lifted. For business travel, I think that is going to be under the most pressure going forward, because I think after 1 year of meetings via video conferencing, we have all learned that you can also do business through this means. But I don't think that a face-to-face meeting and really truthfully connecting with people can ever be replaced by digital means either.
Around the world, consumers are keen and willing to travel again. So the fear are kind of being removed, but they want to still be very cautious about how they travel, right? So they want to keep the safety measures, the social distancing, and even wear a mask going forward. But they also do expect from the industry to demonstrate more purpose and more responsibility when it comes to waste reduction, pollution, climate change, and all those very important topics. That will be my takeaway. What would be yours from your perspective?
So I think the key takeaways to go back to a new normal of air travel will be a cleanliness and sterilization increase by the airlines to reinstore the confidence of passengers to travel, but also guaranteeing their personal space. We can provide passengers more personal space on board, and this can be achieved through digitization by minimizing the number of touch points between the airline crew and the passengers. Thirdly, I think governments need to start working together to come up with a holistic approach to air travel and make sure that people feel confident enough again to travel abroad. And lastly, and to your point, Hassan, I think this is the moment to embed purposefulness in their strategies going forward, not just worry about profit, but also worry about people, the safety of people, and to keep our planet safe and healthy.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Very insightful, very inspiring, and also very positive thinking for the future and the travel industry. We will be keeping looking at our insight and trackers to understand how travelers are confident in jumping into an airplane, sitting into an airport, and deal with the complexity of the COVID. Thanks again for joining us.